Better there. Let's continue. Even though I've lost my audience, let's just get back to the report. You guys can watch this later, I guess. Several reboots of the computer, all sorts of great stuff. Wonderful. Just trying to finish up a report here. Okay, look at this. You see this object leaving the screen right here, up here in this quadrant right here? We have that moving out. This is more data from December 1st, okay? December 1st, 2023, all right? So you can see the very trail end of this object right there. Let's pause it. Sorry we had to drop the last stream like we did, but I had to reboot my computer, regain composure, and try this again. Alright. It shouldn't be too hard to make out. Here's our dark object right here. You can see the bow shock on it, okay? So that's another object causing a CME coming out at this angle, December 1st, all right? That's some of the opening frames from December 1st right there. All right, it looks like it even might have some kind of ghostly companion or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's zoom back out. Okay, so you can see our object up there in the corner. Let me illuminate a little bit better now again. Okay, so let's continue on. As that moves out of frame, we got this slow motion event happening right there. Here comes another shockwave coming our way. Can you see the little black round object right there? If you can't, let's zoom in on it. Ta-da! Our culprit. Okay, so a couple of different objects pulling away from the sun there. Okay, let's continue. Then, that was it. That was the last frame right there. Okay, so let me put this back into motion here. And you can see this one moving out and this one coming out down here. There's a first CME right there. That could possibly be coming our direction, okay? So we didn't get to finish up what we were talking about earlier. And in that meantime, we've had some new data come in as well. So maybe it was a good thing. Now, if I could just pull this over, there we go, a little bit better for you. Okay, so more activity coming off the sun on the 1st, which would arrive on the 4th, all right? Now back over to this side again. Here's our activity right there, all right? We're still waiting this inbound storm. Now look at our auroras. Our auroras have changed now since the last stream. See the dark red in here? All right, so we're still absorbing energy right now. It's getting stronger since the last stream, all right? Real quick, I wanted to show you what was forecasted for this December 1st event, okay? Now, in the earlier stream, read the article where it talked about arriving midday on the 1st, all right? So we're already seeing precursors to it right now on the 1st. Right now, it's starting to flare up, okay? Hopefully it doesn't get as strong or as bad as this, but we'll see, okay? We have no idea. There's two CMEs that converge together. That tangled mess of magnetic field could really do a number on ours, all right? So that's the first right there. And then this is what's forecasted for the second, all right? So we're in for quite a round of energy inbound. This is what they're forecasting. We'll see what happens here. But we're already seeing an increase, and we're in the red now over here on this side, okay? What else did I want to point out? We'll come back to that, I think. So when we left off over here at this quake, okay? I want to talk a little bit more about this quake. Something to note real quick. the magnitude now is 4.8. So when we were doing our stream, this was red. It just showed up while I was talking about 5.0 energy. Going to round the hump of Alaska here. Oops, sorry. Round the hump of Alaska and come down this way. All right. Well, it struck before I could say that. It was this quake right here. This 4.8 came in originally as a 5. Then we watched as they downgraded it to a 4.6, and now it's back to a 4.8. Okay? What I was trying to point out at the very tail end of that last stream was this. This is the report, the advisory. There's no tsunami warning, it's just an advisory. The magnitude they have is 5.1. All right, so we got 4 different magnitudes: 4.6, 4.8, 5.0, and 5.1. So I'm just going to stick with the 5.0 that it came in at originally, because if you kind of average all those out, you'll get about a 5.0. All right, so we had this energy right here, 5.0, travel down the system, go up to the focal point, 5.0, come down here and land down further south than the Juan de Fuca. Okay, so it either skipped over the Juan de Fuca or this is jammed up and it hasn't released yet. All right, the very pinnacle point of the Juan de Fuca, where these two boundary plates merge back together, there's this island right here. Okay, this might be this is like the halfway point. Sorry, I'm zooming in and out so much. Between this 5.0 and this one, all right? The halfway point would be right in there, right around this island, or anywhere in this Juan de Fuca fracture zone. Watch out for a possible 5, okay? Because it seems to have skipped that area. This is not it. That's too small, all right? So we have a blank area here. It could also, very careful, but it could sneak into the Bay Area here. We've been known to have quakes here in the Bay Area, and there's nothing been rattling in this area for a while. Okay, I'm not gonna, try to scare people, but just be aware it's in that middle strike zone where I think another 5.0 is due. Now that we cleared that up, while I was loading this up, we had down here another 5.0. Okay, so this is at the focal point down at South America. All right, this was red just a little while ago when I was setting up here again. So we've had several 5.0s, okay, all because of this energy. Well, not because of this energy. This energy has yet to be distributed, but there's a 5.0 right there. So I expect to see that energy go into the system. See how it's still naked here. Watch out for 5 plus energy, all right? With this new wave of energy coming in, all right? Pop this open. Please, come on. With this new wave of energy coming in and absorbing down to the core heating up, swelling, causing the magma underneath to heat up and swell and roil and make its way to the surface or to the underside of the crust, we're going to see these volcanoes in this area light up again. All right, we're going to see more of this earthquake activity. If it doesn't strike with an earthquake, it'll possibly relieve that energy with a volcano. So some of the blank places are actually being filled in with volcanic activity. This one over here is residual energy, another 5.0. So there's a lot of 5.0s on the screen right now. All right, earlier we talked about this energy over here at Myanmar, making the focal point right here. We also have a quake up here in China. This is a 4.7. So this mid-range 4 to 5 energy is pushed inland from this focal point up here and dumped off a 4.7. Okay, it's moving up through these fracture zones, trying to spread and find the weakest point to deliver one. We haven't seen a couple of quakes at the fulcrum point here, so watch for a couple of 5s, mid-range 4 to a 5 possibly in this region. Okay, coming over here, This has been really quiet. This three-way junction right here could possibly see another mid-range 405. Okay. Um, as I'm calling these mid-range 4 to 5s out, that is without this inbound energy to consider as well. That may bump some of these up. Okay, maybe not in this region over here, but the magnitude in this region over here may increase. We may see upwards of a 7, maybe even an 8 in this area. Okay, no telling how much pressure is going to come up from below when we take on these hits. If it's just something like this, it shouldn't be too bad. But if it gets like this for 2 days in a row, we're gonna have some. We're gonna have to have a serious talk, you guys. All right. So we watch this energy come up on through here. It's jumped over this, put 5 energy here. Boom, boom. Okay. Dumped off 1 right here. I had a feeling if it made it here to this fulcrum point at 5, that it would come down and we would see a 5 somewhere over this side, and we have down here in Southern California. So Juan de Fuca area on alert. California on alert. Not too big, I don't think, but we haven't seen that energy release in this area yet, okay? And if it hasn't released and we have this inbound energy strike just right at the right time, it could bump up the magnitude here as well, okay? This is very, very serious, all right? Right now, it's not looking so bad, but this isn't the big blast yet, okay? I don't want to get cut off because this stuff is so serious, you guys. It really is. And I should be screaming into the microphone, jumping up and down, pulling my hair out. But that doesn't get the message across. The urgency is that urgent, though. Okay? So we need to watch this area for more deep quakes. I bet we'll see some more deep quakes come out of this area as soon as this energy transfers down to the core, heats up that magma, and starts to roil again. All right, there's just a new updated version right there. It just updated. All right, so earlier I was showing you when it was more down here, it had a little bit of orange in it. Now it's turned red. Okay, and this is see down here too. This is taking in energy as well. Okay, so it's not just this one. Both sides of the planet are absorbing energy via the magnetic field. It hits the magnetic field buckles back, loops back around like a the Torah or the torus field. That the magnetic field is shaped like a donut. Well, it loops back around to the poles and delivers energy South Pole, North Pole as well. Okay. Now all that going in is gonna cause a series of earthquakes coming all through here again, all the way up through the system. We'll see more volcanoes becoming active. We didn't get to the volcano report of today, or the previous day, now the 30th. So we've had Etna in Sicily still going off. Bagana, that's the new one there in Papua New Guinea. All right, Bagana, Bagana. I have to get used to saying that one. Ibu is still going off in Indonesia. Luotolo, Semeru, Ducono still going off. Popo still going off. Santiaguito is still going off. Fuego, Sangay, Reventador, Sabancaya. All of these were still going off, all right, today. Um, there was Krakatau still going off. Where was that one? Where did the one link I need to click on go? Maybe we're on it already. Oh, come on now. Yeah, that's the same one. Could have swore I saw Krakatoa on here earlier. Because it was still active. It's not on there anymore. Alright, I want to go over to this interactive map here real quick. Not this ad, please, this map. Alright, let's zoom in this map just a little bit better for you guys here. Okay, we're in the Indonesian region. Okay, let's come over here to Fiji, where we have all our deep quakes. All right, here's Fiji right here. Let me just zoom in a tad bit better so you guys can see. All right, here's Fiji right here. All right, we have these two in yellow over here. The Home Reef volcano, remember this one went off not too long ago, and this Tofuka volcano in yellow. These could possibly become more active. They're close to that deep earthquake energy, all right? This one's already in red at the very entrance to our system right here, Yasur volcano. This one is Aoba, sorry, here at Vanuatu in yellow. All right, so these ones might become more active. They're close by. Let me, oops, there we go. There's another one hiding right here, Tenakula. This one's in orange. That's the Bagana, all right? So that one that was orange, Bagana, went off today. So it should be in red now, all right? It went active today. And I was telling you, watch these orange ones. They might be going red. So here it is, Bagana volcano. It's not on this map. It's still showing orange, but I showed you it had an eruption today. It's the new red one on the map, it should be. Right, here's another one, the Uluwun volcano here. This one went off recently. Here's Papua New Guinea. This is where we see all the 5.0s is on this island right here. It has a volcano as well, the Manam volcano. This one, it went active as well, all right? So, let me just, while we're there, come over here. All right, I just showed you the volcanoes in this region right here up to this point. All right, this is that naked area where there's no quakes right now because we're having volcanic activity in that region. Okay, these orange volcanoes, two of them right here just went red. This one should be in red as well. All right, so I wouldn't be surprised to see these three maybe go off again. Definitely when this new pressure comes in, all right? Creeping up the system here, we got these two in red. This is Dukono and Ibu, okay? These are already active, all right? They were on the list of went off today. This is a little one out here, Karangatang, yep. Karangatang volcano. It's orange, so watch out for that one. That one could possibly be going off here soon. As we come up through the Philippines, this Canlone volcano in yellow, Bulusan in yellow, and this Mayon in red. All three of these could become more active as well. We got this one here, Tal volcano. All right, let me zoom back out just a tad bit. Okay, and then up here at Japan, there's what, 5 of them? Aso in yellow, Kurishima in yellow, Sakajurima in red. That one's been going off. This one. This one's in orange. Okay, I can't say those names. I'm going to just murder them. It's been years since I spoke Japanese. Ebiko in red. Bizimignani, whatever. Shivaluge. As we zoom out, this is the peninsula up here where we have this quiet area again. All right. So when we see these skips and quakes, it's some of the volcanoes in between are relieving the pressure. All right. And then it continues on down the line here where we don't have volcanoes relieving pressure. Right. Now it's made it over the hump. All right. So we're going to watch this closely. There's a little alert out. It has relieved some pressure right here with this 5 at the Southern California, which has had a 2.6 aftershock. So we might see some energy come down into the Cocos plate as well. Over here, this is a 4.4, but that was from earlier. This, though, is 5.0. That was just recent again, all right? So watch out for Iceland coming back to life again, earthquakes and possible volcanic, fissure opening up or something going on up here. We have all this pressure coming in from underneath. So this map is going to light up here pretty soon. And I expect to see some possible bigger magnitude quakes, possibly, okay? So everybody be ready, have an earthquake plan. If you're on the west coast here, you might get a 5, but that's enough to knock stuff off the shelf. So, if you got stuff, expensive stuff resting on the shelf, you don't want to lose it. Start taking little precautionary things like that. Okay. So there's your earthquakes right there. We did all the volcanoes now. Whoops. Oh, please. Bear with me here for a second. Hopefully this comes back. Thank you. Jeez, I can't even click from one site. Can I click to this site? Whew. Alrighty. Thanks for coming back, some of you guys. Sorry about we lost our last stream here. So this is another important part of the report we needed to finish up tonight. This is the current conditions going into the morning of December 1st. Okay, we do have this small little speck at the middle of this comma-shaped low that's wrapping up and gaining, it's getting its act together here. Right here, this is the morning, and then that's like the noon time. I expect with this inbound energy hitting around midday, they said midday the 1st. Well, this frame right here is midday the 1st. Okay? And if we had severe weather possibilities just the frame before, without the energy, then we get into this time frame when the energy starts to hit. If it hits at this time, it could possibly influence the storm, okay? Then it splits like this and goes, this is at the end of convection. It splits like that and kind of, part shunts down this way and part goes up that way. It's very critical at what time this energy hits when this storm is approaching too, okay? There were some storm chasers out today. They got snookered, but thankfully the inbound energy didn't hit until after convection. If that had hit during while the sun was still up, it probably would have influenced that weather and we would have seen a little more violent weather today. But from this opening frame right here, so starting, we're getting into the morning hours of the first here, I'm sorry. And we got this pretty organized storm here, high winds, a lot of rain. I was watching the storm chasers. They were in curtains and curtains of rain. So it doesn't look like much, but it's a heavy rain producer. It has the chance for severe weather. There is cold air on the backside, so there can be, possible icing event in this frame right here that they're not showing. All right. I pray that this is, I'm wrong and that this instrument's more correct, but I don't think it's taking into consideration the possibility for this. Come on. I need a computer that can switch from one thing to another just so I can do a report. Anyways, this. Ooh, it's even redder now. It's even growing even more, okay? So midday, it was supposed to be even more intense. I can't get that image back now, I think. But at this point, I would expect to see maybe severe weather in the center of this right here. Okay, this might actually wrap up and become more organized than pulling this maneuver and splitting. All right, let's pray that it splits like this because the energy kind of, you see how it gets divvied right here, some down here in the south in the tail, but it kind of gets ripped in two there. All right, so this frame right here is the one I'm most concerned about. This is the noontime when impact is supposed to hit. From noontime to convection, all right, we might see some serious weather either in this pocket or down in this pocket. They're not showing it at this time, but that's just, they don't have the added energy. By this time, this is going to be the nighttime of the first, all right, when we'll still have, this huge magnetic storm going on. Why can't I get that image back? God darn it. We'll still have this storm at least going on right here, all right? This is the current conditions. Where was I again? Oh, so if this activity down here starts to blossom, you can see we have the potential for severe weather down in these southern states here. All right, it's a little speckled and scattered there, but this little trough could possibly, when it does this, intensify, and we could have a little outbreak here in the south. All right, let me go one more frame, and then it turns red. All right, now let me go back, get the time frames for these. All right, get out of my way there. Okay. These are crucial frames. This is the morning time of December 2nd, all right? It says 4 a.m. Pacific. That translates to 7 a.m. in this region, all right? So in the morning hours down here in the south, you're already going to have severe weather. Then it gets very severe by noontime, okay? And if we have this added energy, remember I showed you this other picture where it had tomorrow's energy predicted. We could, this could possibly be a big tornado outbreak on the 2nd here, especially right here at the end of convection with this intense core, red and yellow, over Georgia, parts of South Carolina, reaching back into Alabama. And that's just a guesstimate of where this might happen. It could shift by 100 miles in any direction, just by, one little increment back here could change all this, all right? So that's what's predicted there, and we're supposed to be having added energy to this. So you people here in the South, the next couple, this on December 2nd here, you better watch the weather closely. I mean, I would really recommend watching the weather on that day very closely. So let's back it up. That's the nighttime of the 1st. You see how this thing has split. If it doesn't split and stays organized, this is going to be even much worse. All right, let's pray it doesn't do that. But this is the morning time. It's supposed to be dissipating right then, and it's intensifying. That's noon. That's not even the end of convection yet. There's the end of convection. So watch out for this storm could intensify, as well as this storm back up in here. Okay. Let's continue here. So this is the end of convection, December 2nd. Sundown, December 2nd. Going into the nighttime, still chances down here scattered around. That could possibly change. This low is winding up here. The center of it is, and this is the tail. It's just not connected, but you can see that it's drawing moisture up from the Gulf into these states. So heavy rain the morning of the 3rd. That's the noontime. Severe weather up here. And what's that? New York. Yep, up in New York up there. Snow in Maine, back up in here as well. Sorry. Snow here and here, all up and down in there. Severe weather coming in on the coast over here as well. And this is the noontime of the 3rd. Back it up. That's the morning of the 3rd. Noontime. The end of convection, December 3rd. Now this thing really turned into a monster, but it's kind of moving offshore. It's still wrapping around with snow on the backside here in Maine. Severe weather up in the New York area is still there. Okay. So the end of convection right there. Severe weather still up here in Oregon and Washington, chance there. Then we go into the nighttime of the 3rd. Look at that. The morning of the 4th, noontime. The end of convection with this moving in and the Puget Sound area. Severe weather, December 4th, Seattle. Going into the nighttime, nocturnal severe weather at the nighttime of December 4th, right here for the Pacific Northwest up there. That looks to be a doozy right there. And this is the morning hours. So instead of dissipating into the morning, it actually strengthens as it comes on shore. This is showing like 2 bands too. Let me just show you this real quick. You're going to see these 2 bands, this first yellow band leading the second band. This could possibly bring, onshore water spouts. Okay, so we'll watch closely for this event right here. Hopefully we don't have activity off the sun that encourages this even stronger. Okay, back down again. Back to plugging the buttons. So we are now the noontime of the 5th. The end of convection the 5th, the nighttime of the 5th, the morning of the 6th, noontime. Here we go, Northern California, severe weather, the noontime of the 6th. Going into upstate and into the Montana area by the end of convection. There's the nighttime of the 6th, the morning of the 7th now. December 7th, a date that will live in infamy. All right. Here's snow up here in this region, the morning of December 7th. Stretching across the northern plains there by noon. Sorry. I need to scoot it just a tad bit more so I can get that button. There we go. All right, now that's the end of convection right there. December 7th, with another storm coming on shore here in the Pacific Northwest. So round after round for the Pacific Northwest. You see this big low winding up here with the snow on the backside, these tight millibars? Watch out for that low. So it's there just with some snow in Minnesota on the 7th, night of the 7th. Then we go into the morning of the 8th. It goes a little further east. There's the noontime of the 8th as it wraps up. This coming inshore. This is the end of convection, December 8th. Possible icing at the boundary area, these 2 air masses there. Or that low right there. Snow up through the Sierras, up through the Rockies. Will rain on the coast. We got that thing moving through on December 8th. All right, let's get into the morning of the 9th there. There's noon. Convection, the nighttime of the 9th. Morning of the 10th. Look at this chance coming down here into Texas. Back up a little bit. You see this air mass kind of colliding with this air coming up here. Severe weather for the morning of the 10th here in Texas. Even more severe by noon. By the end of convection, we got this cold air mass. This is way down south here into almost into Mexico. Clear to the New Mexico border right here. So this cold air is dive down really hard and south. Then we got this frontal boundary area with these yellow pop-ups out there. So this day right here, if this comes to fruition at the end of convection on December 10th, that could get interesting. With ice in the middle there by the nighttime. Severe weather in Oklahoma. Yeah, look at that. And then that's the morning time with ice, snow, deep snow right here, tornadoes. So this might have the combination of everything. You might even see fires in the dry air on the other side of this. So Watch that one closely as it comes in. Yeah, it's the last frame. So let's go ahead and start this over. That's our first one for tomorrow. That's the next day. And then the rest of this is just basically the West Coast here. This is all going to change because of activity on the sun. So, but these first few days here, that event right there will, right here. So from this point forward, we got this energy coming in now. It takes a little while for it to transfer down to the core and results for earthquake and volcanic activity, but it immediately starts to affect the weather. So between the morning and the noon time right here, we might start to see severe weather somewhere in this little frontal boundary area that is unexpected. I pray I'm wrong. That right there, the end of convection. Let's pray that this thing splits like it does. It really weakens it and just keeps everything, kind of moderate, not so severe. But as we go from the end of convection into the nighttime, we have pop-up thunderstorms coming from off the coast into Louisiana, the panhandle of Florida, and into Mississippi there. So this is the day we're going to have added energy right here as that comes together in the morning time, not at the end of convection. That's the morning time. Then it really gathers strength by noon, the second. All right, so we'll have to watch these two events very closely. All right. Was that it? I wanted to. Nope, that won't pull up again. Come back over here. Yep, our latest update. You see this has grown in intensity. Now this is getting red over on the southern pole. Okay, we're taking on some energy right now as we speak. All right, so this has changed already. Expect to see the KP index jump on the next go around. There might be a little lull after this, but then there'll probably be a one in yellow or red. Because we're taking on a strong one right here in red. So I believe this is our near X flare event starting to take place right now. All right, or no, that one's supposed to hit midday today. All right, this is like energy. Well, this might be it hitting already. All right, because we're already into the first, and it's a few hours. This by where are we? By UTC time is already at 8 o'clock, so like 8 in the morning. So we have 8 hours of data already UTC time. So yeah, that's energy for our big one already starting to hit right now. Okay, I'll pop this open again so you can see the southern one there for a minute. Get rid of some of these. Do you guys like the volcano map? Does that kind of help you guys see the little gaps in between where the quakes kind of missing and the volcanoes fill in the gaps? Let's see if we can pull up a good image here to finish that reading by. I was getting started there and was just getting frustrated. So let's try this one more time. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. There we go. Sorry, I had to just do that real quick. There we go. Bingo. Could not instill in you guys how important this image is. This event. Something that occurred to me too. How does it go? In an hour you think not, you will see him coming in the clouds. This event lasted an hour. And it wasn't until today when I read, in an hour you think not. Oh, whoa, an hour. So it was kind of weird how they correlated the verse out of the Bible with this event actually taking an hour. And now let's just get the bigger zoomed in image. I think right there. Here we go. You guys see a little bit better there. All right, real event. Take peace and comfort knowing that this is a real event. This happened on Easter. That's just, I mean, that should scream volumes. The Revelation 12 star alignment actually taking place with Jupiter being in the belly of Virgo for 9 months, the gestation period of a child. I mean, that sign right there was screams volumes. I showed you the dragon that everybody missed. You know, it says, then another sign appeared, a great red dragon, and everybody thought it was going to appear after the Revelation star alignment, right? Well, it happened before. And if you read the Revelation properly, it says the dragon stood before the woman. Yeah, it stood 13 days before on September 10th. There was an object on the sun, around the sun. Nemesis and Nibiru. All right, anyways, let's just pick up where we left off here. Just nice image. Maybe we'll kind of do more of the face and less of the crown. You guys can see that crown up there? Let's focus more on the face here. Alright. Because there's a real face. Tilt your head to the right. The eye, the nose, the mouth, chin and beard with the hair flowing back. And that crown hovering right above it right there. You can see the little balls on the tip of the crown there. Alright. Happened on Easter. Hallelujah. Alright. Now, let me try this reading again. Some of you guys are still with me, so we'll just do it again. Now, I had this set up a certain way, and I got frustrated and messed it all up, so. Let's just kind of do this. Even though your journey often feels haphazard, your steps are directed by me. When the path that lies before you is veiled in uncertainty, the best thing you can do is cling to me. Picture a young child walking along a busy street with a trustworthy adult. The child may feel overwhelmed by all the sensory stimulation, fearful of getting separated and losing her way. However, if she keeps holding on to the adult's hand, she will come safely to her destination. Similarly, as you clasp my hand for help and guidance, you are ultimately safe. Though you may not know the way you should go, you do know the one who is the way. Because I am sovereign over your life, I direct your steps and make them sure, even when they seem random to you. Talk with me about your uncertainty, your fear of making wrong decisions. The most important choice you make moment by moment is to stay in communication with me. This is how you cling to me. This is how you trust my guiding presence to keep you safe. Hopefully that kind of helps and soothes your guys' nerves. Here, expect to encounter adversity in your life, remembering that you live in a deeply fallen world. Stop trying to find a way that circumvents difficulties. The main problem with an easy life is that it masks your need for me. When you became a Christian, I infused my very life into you, empowering you to live on a supernatural plane by depending on me. Anticipate coming face to face with impossibilities, situations totally beyond your ability to handle. This awareness of your inadequacy is not something you should try to evade. It is precisely where I want you. It's the best place to encounter me in my glory and power. When you see armies of problems marching towards you, cry out to me. Allow me to fight for you. Watch me working on your behalf as you rest in the shadow of my almighty presence. Find me in the midst of the maelstrom. Sometimes events whirl around you so quickly that they become a blur. Whisper my name in recognition that I am still with you. Without skipping a beat, In the activities that occupy you, you find strength and peace through praying my name. Later, when the happenings have run their course, you can talk with me more fully. Accept each day just as it comes to you. Do not waste your time and energy wishing for a different set of circumstances. Instead, trust me enough to yield to my design and purposes. Remember that nothing can separate you from my loving presence. You are mine. I want you to draw water from the well of salvation with joy, knowing that I have saved you forever from your sins and can be a wellspring of joy in your daily life. Because you know me as your Savior, you have inside you a spring of water welling up to eternal life. Ponder the enormity of this amazing gift and rejoice. Try to begin and end each day thanking me for all I have provided. My gift of salvation is designed to bless not only you, but the people around you. As you trust in me, streams of living water will flow from within you. Ask my Spirit, who dwells inside of you, to bless others through you, flowing into their lives. One way to make this request is to pray, Holy Spirit, think through me, live through me, and love through me. While his streams of living water are passing through you into the hearts of other people, I fill both them and you with joy. So when you're sharing this, you're blessing them, you're blessing yourself. Everybody gets joy. It's like a win-win-win for everybody. Okay? So have faith, believe this is your foundation, your rock to hold on to. Okay, this was a very costly image. It was a very painful experience to stand there for an hour holding my camera up when I have a shattered shoulder. Excruciatingly painful. But it was worth it for these beautiful images, and that's why I keep bringing this to you. Okay, we're at the point in this story now to where you've seen the wars and the rumors of wars. You've seen quakes in diverse areas. You've seen the oceans and seas roaring. Now you see governments, baffled and bewildered. You're seeing the good versus evil, the Muslim versus Christian, Judeo-Christian war start to break out. That's the kingdom versus kingdom, all right? You see all these signs. He says, well, that's when you'll know I'm around, right? So all these things are happening. Well, he says, look up. Look up. Your redemption is drawing nigh, you guys. It really is. This is real image. And I took so many pictures here. We're just going to play the rest of this before I close out. I'll let you guys listen to this. Yeah. You can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event. And I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book. And you can see the different images, and that this event, is taking place here because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about... Alright, it would be one thing or a coincidence if you capture just the image of Jesus in the clouds. But then when it turns into a lion wearing a crown, that's something else. Now you got two different oddities, and the odds of one happening are trillions to one, and the odds of another are happening are trillions to one. You add those two trillions to one together, and you have two events happening in one, and both have the odds of happening are very far and slim. You know that this is a real event. Something in your heart should tell you when you see this, you should know that this is a real event. This isn't a morphed image with what is it, CGI or whatever computer programs they use. This is a bunch of pictures that I took myself and stacked on top of each other in a flip book. This screen right here in the background compresses the image down. The image should be the full size of the screen. Well, it compresses it down into a smaller square, making it clearer to see. Just like a picture on a newspaper, if you take a magnifying glass and you look at the picture right up close with a newspaper, it's made up of a bunch of dots. It's really just a bunch of dots put together. It isn't until you step further back that those dots all collide together and become a picture. All right, let me just freeze frame it here. I need music advertisements popping up. All right, so real event happened on Easter, you guys, and I showed you the dragon showing up the day before in that weird cloud. That was a picture my son took. And after seeing that, I knew to go back to this spot the next day. I'm like, oh, tomorrow's Easter, and I just saw this at the same spot. I'm going back there tomorrow. And this is what I caught. My kids were with me the whole time while I was taking these pictures. They were witnesses to it too. So there's two witnesses also. And you guys as well. Imagine if this stuff was happening to you. Everywhere you go, these giant faces in the clouds. It's the freakiest stuff. It was at first, because I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what the heck is this? And why is it following me around? UFOs, giant faces in the clouds. I showed you advanced races from the past and their flying vehicles following me around in the clouds. Just all kinds of paranormal activity happening to me. Images of angels and Mary showing up on my security cameras. And yeah, it's been quite a wild ride ever since September 10th of 2017. My life has changed radically in a good way, in a great way. So thankful too. It's such an honor to be able to bring this to you guys. It took a long time to actually compress each image and get the right images to stack them in a nice little format to where you get all the clear images all the way through the lion face phase, so you get to see the transition and everything. That's not a morph product from a computer. That is me stacking a bunch of pictures on top of each other from the opening picture till the end picture. So an hour-long event, the clouds change from Jesus to this lion face on Easter. That should scream volumes, you guys. That should scream volumes. All right, as to how near we are, okay? He says, when you see these signs, look up. You'll see me coming in the clouds with power and great authority. Well, that crown signals both power and great authority. The lion of the tribe of Judah. This is some kind of weird lion face, cat-type face. I would refer to like a lion, I guess, right? So there's a couple of prophecies in one come true right here. I wish you guys could understand how real this is. You would just it should shake you to your foundation, to your core, because it sure did to me. When after putting this all together and I saw the finished product, I was just shocked. I knew God helped me, put this all together too. I had the strength to do it, and then I'm not a computer expert. He just like, here, insert them into Google. So I insert all my pictures, and then they put it in a nice little square format, and then I can go through each picture and stack them, and they can make the little video out of my stack of pictures. The Lord showed me how to do that. I didn't know how to do that stuff. I'm not a tech guy. You see my rinky dink operation here. There's no way I could have faked this stuff. This is the real deal. This is the mountain right here. Whoopsie. Sorry, keeps going to that. Let me just freeze frame right here. This mountain right here. I showed you in another picture. There's a highway that goes up this mountain into the Sierras. The irony of when I was homeless just this recently, I mean, I'm talking just a couple months ago, I was homeless. If some of you guys were watching or follow me, you know that I went through a little bout there, okay? The irony that I wound up at the base of this mountain, camping out in a tent out in the weather at the base of this mountain, I knew I was going to be delivered. I knew it. There was not a question in my mind. I didn't know I was stuck outside. I knew I wasn't stuck outside for the rest of my life. I knew he was there watching over me in the clouds, because it always is. And I was at the base of this mountain too. It was just so ironic. And sure enough, after 40 days out there and 40 nights, I was delivered. And now I'm back home and doing shows again for you guys. So I just need you guys to understand how real this is, how important this is. Deliverance is true. All of this is coming true. It seems too good to be true, but it's not. It's really happening. I mean, any of you people that read the Bible, you can see what's going on. You can see the signs. You don't need this. You have your faith. This is more for people who can't understand yet, all right? And it looks odd. Well, it's a miracle. Miracles look odd. They're out of the ordinary, all right? And this is so big and in your face that when you look up to the sky, you really can't see it, because it's just like if I don't know, if I shoved the camera right up to the clouds and made it blurry, you wouldn't be able to see this image because it'd be too big in your face. It's not until you pull back that it gets clear. Watch as I kind of go full frame here. See, it gets a little blurrier, but then as I reduce it down smaller, it gets clearer, and I'll even go mini and see how clear it gets over, and the smaller the image gets, the clearer it gets. Here. The more you compress the image, the clearer it gets. And these events are happening in a different dimension. It's like if you could step outside your body and travel like a quarter mile behind you and see from a perspective a quarter mile back behind your skull. Imagine that. If you could like step out of your body and have the perspective from a quarter mile back behind your body. That's what's kind of going on in this effect. They're so big and in your face you can't see them. It's not until you're way back that it finally, the image comes together. All right. That's how this works. You're looking at different dimensions. You're looking at the spiritual realm. Okay. Showing up in our clouds now. I showed you it showing up on my security cameras before with Mary and angels and even Satan and demons and stuff showing up on my security cameras. Then it transfers from that up into the clouds one day, and now all of a sudden this stuff follows me everywhere I go. UFOs, Jesus in the clouds, dragons. I stopped taking pictures because I can't even drive and focus. I don't like being on a cell phone when I drive, and I hate it when other people are. And here I am trying to snap pictures while driving. No, no, no. It doesn't work. So I just kind of gave up. I filled my computer with so many pictures, I can't even access them. But it's okay. We got the main one right here. This is the main event right here. And I'm so glad that I still have this at least saved to bring to you guys, because this is the most important one right here. Happened on Easter. The event the day before, UFO-shaped cloud shows up right here, same spot, right over this mountain, with a dragon in the etherical. I showed you that. That was the day before Easter, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is no way. After studying that picture through over that night, I went out the next morning, Easter, and went to this same area, and I saw the clouds roiling and doing something. So I just started taking as many pictures as I could. It wasn't until I got home and kind of processed them that I saw this image. The image that I was taking a picture of, that I saw from my perspective, was not this. It was an image of Jesus on a cross being crucified, and you could see it in the clouds, but it's not in here. So what's weird is you must have to zoom way in somehow to find that image of Jesus on the cross that I was seeing. And I was seeing, you could see him crucified with his head hanging down. So I started taking pictures of that, as many as I could. And I figured when I got home, that's what I would capture, was that images of him on the cross. And it wasn't until I saw the compressed image that I was like, oh, that's not what was going on. This is what was going on. So I was surprised when I took these pictures. I was seeing something different in the sky. And when I got them done, it was something different than what I thought I was taking pictures of. So it was a pleasant surprise, very pleasant surprise. And I hope this is a pleasant surprise for you guys as well. This should bring you joy. You guys should rejoice. This is good news. Even though it kind of ends in a wonky way, there is life after death, and you guys kind of choose where you're going to go. And I'm trying to guide you and help you go the right way. All right? These are all little gifts. And I can't keep them to myself. All right? I cannot just keep this vital information to myself. I have to share these gifts with you guys. So that's why I do this and show this image at the end of every show, because it's just so, so, so vital. This is the most important information we've had in the last 2,000 years, since Jesus was here actually walking around in the flesh. Okay? And this might be an indication that he is walking around here in the flesh, because he said last time he'd be doing the same thing, and you guys wouldn't recognize him or know him or what. Would you even recognize me? Nah, because you got to know his character. Once you understand Jesus' character, you won't recognize him by his face. You'll recognize him by his character. Hopefully you get that part. And then you're supposed to just kind of emulate along, do your best to copy his character, Anyways, I think that's it. Let's come back over here real quick before we close out. Yes, this is growing in intensity right now as we speak. Okay. Bear with me as I do something really quick here. Hang on, I gotta block the camera for a second here and do something real quick. I gotta try to retrieve an image, very vital image, and it'll only take a second here. I know right where to go. And wait. There we go. All right, so let me just pull this up a little bit bigger and pull this back. So this is the forecast for the first. Okay, we're going into the hours of the first right now. That's the forecast for the first. This is the forecast for the second. All right, so those two storms that we got coming in, the first and the second, we're currently at this stage right now already. So we're taking it. We're taking it right now. Everybody was kind of watching all day. I was too, waiting for impact. watching this instrument. We're all watching magnetometers. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's this impact? When's it coming? When's it coming? Well, it finally started, and now you can see it growing in intensity. All right. We're at this stage so far, early on, and where to go? Let's pray we don't get to this stage right here, okay? Or, this intensity right here, okay? This is tomorrow's forecast as well. So we got a lot of praying to do. If we take on this kind of energy, we're going to be having magnitude 7 to 8 quakes, all right? And if we have back-to-back days, we're looking at magnitude 8 and even possibly higher. All right, it's not going to end of the world or anything like that, but this has the capacity to induce some pretty hefty quakes. I'm gonna just come back over here. It's nice and quiet right now. There's no new ones, right? So this energy is absorbing right now. Everything's calm, but once it gets down to the core, heats it up, starts to roil, we're gonna see volcanoes come back to life and more earthquake activity come back to life. Then as well, we got this that left the sun today down here. This lower one might graze us on the 4th. Okay, and I believe there's a little break between after this big one and this next little round right here. I believe we have like a 1 or 2 day little break before this might arrive. Okay, so forecast, yes, we did that. We covered that. We covered everything. Let's just one last peek here. Let me just refresh this in case this is all right. Well, you can see now that this one on the south has gone red and is growing in intensity too. All right. And maybe what I'll do here after this stream is I'll go try to put the link to this site in the description so you guys can come over here to Solar Ham if you don't know how to find it and click on this and monitor it yourself if you want to continue to monitor this absorption event throughout the course of tomorrow, or check in with it every once in a while, and make it part of your list of earthquake map. Check this, check the earthquake map, and then the Schumann to make sure that our field is nice and strong. In fact, let's just take a little peek at the Schumann. Wasn't going to report on it, but let's just see if it changed at all since our last report. While we're up and going, bingo. No, but you can still see, since this dramatic impact right here, we've had scraping event since, all right? It's just not a scraping event, but a harmonic event. Everything has increased, all right? It's in intensity. See how it was bright back in here, got nice and weak in this area, and then pink, we had the scraping, and now back to really strong again, all right? So this could be a sign that magma down below is starting to increase, in energy, and it's roiling around harmonically, causing tremors and stuff. This little white line right there is back again, all right? And that seems to coincide with our magma activity. So it might be a boundary, where the frequencies change from the magma to the crust, because the crust is thicker than the magma. It's harder for the sound waves to, they penetrate at a different speed. So I think that was about it. I just wanted to finish off the rest of the report that we had started earlier and leave you with a nice reading, because I was starting to do that and lost focus there. So I think that'll be it for tonight. I'll expect to maybe see a brief little live tomorrow during the daytime when I get back up and check this instrument. If it's going haywire and we have a big red circle on it, I'll probably jump in and do a live stream of the current conditions then. All right, I gotta get some rest so I can get up and check this in the morning, or in the afternoon, basically. But I think that's it for tonight. Thanks for coming back and continuing on with me. I'm sorry about my technical difficulties that I struggle with here, but I'm bound and determined to bring you this, guys. This is so important, especially at this phase that we're at. Okay, so high alert for earthquakes, volcanoes. If we get, look, what I'm most concerned about this right here is a jump in magnitude in quakes. All right, it's going to cause an increase in activity, but the red means more power in those quakes, more magnitude. So I'm concerned that we might see in the next day or two, not right away, but as soon as that energy gets down to the core and makes the earth swell from inside out, we could see some stronger quakes that could cause tsunamis. All right. So if you're on any of the coasts, wherever you are, if you're on the coastline, just be aware. Stay alert, stay informed. Get an earthquake app on your phone or tsunami app in case something happens. Usually, if something happens over in this region, it takes about 8 hours to get to America. So it gives you an 8 hour window to get home, get packed, and evacuate, right? So I pray that this doesn't happen, but the potential is out there now, all right? I think you guys understand why. I'm not trying to be a fear monger here. I'm just trying to give it to you straight. All right. We have gaps here where volcanoes have been filling in the relief of energy. Okay, I showed you that. We have these deep little new zones that pop up, like right in this little trench area where we had our little earthquake swarm. Expect these areas that had these new activity to fire up possibly again. All right. We have Iwo Jima, that's a new island that could possibly grow some more. All right, those kind of results, any results from volcanic activity, we could have, flight restrictions from ash clouds or, stuff like that. So pay attention to what's going on, especially if we're going to be traveling. There could be flight restrictions if we have a serious event and magnetic field gets really weak and drops. When I say drops, like drops in intensity, doesn't like totally die 100% or we'll fry. There's still a magnetic core to the earth. Even if the core and the shell stop spinning, there's still a magnet in the center of the earth, the core, and it still produces a smaller, weaker magnetic field than when it's rotating in the core, but it would still produce a small, it would never drop fully until, until the planet rips apart or whatever. Also, refresh this deep activity over here. This is a sign of pressure down deep coming up. We usually have one or two deep quakes in this region. We've had uh, four deep quakes, starting with a 5.0, a 4.4, 4.7, and a 4.4. All the combined energy of those up at the surface, we're looking at, 5 to mid range 5. Plus, you add the red part, 5.5 plus, I would say a whole nother magnitude, 6. We're getting into 6 and 7 range, you guys, all right? And let me just point something out. When we had this transfer of energy, this 5.0 energy that came over the hump, it skipped the Juan de Fuca, and the weak spot where it did strike was down here in Southern California. All right, so if we have a new wave of energy that comes over and does the same type of maneuver, you might see a quake down here in Southern California. All right, it's time for California to kind of be alerted to the inbound energy that's coming its way, already kind of arrived, and the potential for that to increase. Okay, and this goes if you're in any earthquake prone area not just Southern California. You know, if you live by a fault line or a volcanic feature, you might want to step back from it or stay away from it. For instance, we have a hot springs. It's a real vent that has cracked in the ground. There's sulfur dioxide that pours out of it every day, and it's created a hot river. It took the nearby river and turned it super hot, and there's a hot spring there. Now that hot spring is a crack in the crust. It actually emits sulfur dioxide and hot water from down under the crust. So we have a nearby vent, and that's what I use to gauge nearby activity. All right. So if you have a nearby vent or hot springs, you can gauge your activity by them or by any kind of earthquake activity happening by a nearby volcano in your area. All right. You need to watch those. I don't want to scare anybody, but let's just talk seriously a minute about these volcanoes up here by Seattle. We got Rainier, we got Mount St. Helens, and we got a couple of these other ones here. Boom, boom. These sisters and Mount Hood down here in Oregon, and then Shasta as well here in California. So this little string of volcanoes that runs up the cascade here, you could possibly see some activity coming out of these. You know what, dude? Mount St. Helens. We should watch this. Watch this volcano carefully. I could see this one possibly going off again, you guys. We'll watch it closely. You know what? Let me see if I can. You guys hanging out for a minute? You're doing okay? Let me try to change this to all magnitude 7 days. Let's see what's going on over here by Mount Rainier. Oh dear. So when I put it on all magnitude 7 days, let me get rid of this. That one. Look what we got here. A little earthquake swarm on the top of Mount Rainier. They're all 0.1, 0.2, 0.2. Yeah, these are all little microquakes, but they're right at the tip, the very peak of Mount Rainier. Here's one on the flank. All right, so there's little microquakes going on in this region, even though you don't see them on the bigger quake map. That's 2.5 and plus. Lo and behold, look what's going on around Mount Rainier. Let's go down to, I was talking about St. Helens, and look at this. Holy shit. Pardon my French. Wow, I had a feeling. Look at all this activity here. These are all little microquakes, 0.1, 0.0, 0.2, but yeah, we're having a little quake swarm here. It's all these small ones that you don't see on the regular quake map. Oh boy, I knew I should have looked. I'm glad I looked deeper. So, yeah, something was telling me, look, go check out Mount Rainier and St. Helens. What's this one down here? This one's got earthquake activity too. Government Camp, Oregon. This must be Hood. Let me back out. Is that Mount Hood? Yeah, I think it is. So Mount Hood waking up. Yep. Here's our little series of quakes around the geysers area. Little series of quakes out here. These are all smaller ones, but notice the position of them right here where the 3-point junction comes to land right here. This is a weak spot where we might see a one of our 5.0s trigger off around that area. All right. This whole naked area was naked of that 5.0 energy. This would be one of the areas you would see it pop off, possibly, even where this one was. 4.3 a couple days ago. That was yesterday. Okay, excuse me. We got off on a tangent here. Ooh, we got a new quake over here. 4.3 at Greece. Brand new quake right here. 4.3 at Greece at a depth of 10. So as we were reporting this mid-range 4 energy coming through the region, had dropped off this quake here. And now we got one right here, 4.3. This is a 4.2 from earlier. So 4.5, 4.2, right in the middle, 4.3. Okay, it's just kind of filled in the gap right there. This is pressure in this region starting to increase, so you might see increased volcanic activity in this area too. All volcanoes all around the world. You're probably going to be a big rash of volcano uptick. We might see something like 10 of them explode at the same time, or there was an event, 19 erupted all at the same time last time. So we might see something similar like that, and Iceland as well. Okay, I think that's about it. That's about all I couldn't talk about tonight. I got to get to some rest, but here you go. Sweet dreams, everybody. Remember, you got somebody on your side. He's right there with you all the time. You utilize him, and he'll help you like he's helped me. All right, that's it for the night. I love you all. God bless you all. And until tomorrow's probably new updated report, I'll be back. I am back. Can't you tell?